Aloha everyone, it's March 10th, a little bit after 3 p.m. in the afternoon. I just wanted to give you a quick update. Since the last time I did a video, so much has transpired and I've been a little bit overwhelmed and not, I guess, in a place to do a video that would be succinct enough, telling you all the details. So I'll probably go over the details a little bit more. In short, a lot of good stuff has happened, and a lot of crazy stuff has happened. Start with the crazy stuff. I am going to be starting radiation, not just for one part of my body, but for three parts. I have learned since my last video that not only did I have tumors in my pelvic area and lower spine, L4, I have tumors in my thoracic spine, T12, and 3 tumors in my cervical spine, which is my neck. And I learned this through a series of aches and pains, the neck pain being the most recent and causing the most havoc after having gone to pelvic floor therapy and regular physical therapy. They weren't able to really help me identify the source of the pain that I had in my neck and also my shoulder that later on went on to affect range of motion in my right arm. So it hurts to do things like brush my teeth, wash my hair with my right hand, or do simple movements like writing upward. Like if I write something on the calendar, that hurts. So as a result, what ended up happening was complained, got an MRI, and found out that there are 3 possibilities for why my arm is affected, and it could be one of those 3 or all of those 3 or 2 of those 3 tumors in my neck compressing on my spine. So instead of treating the pelvic area, which is what my primary oncologist recommended, because of the radiation effects I mentioned in my previous videos, I will not be treating the pelvic area. Thank God for pain signaling that other areas needed an MRI. So we're going to radiate the L4 area. T12 we're going to skip because it's not an immediate concern. Even though it's painful, it's only at certain times. And the doctor doesn't want to radiate too much of the bone because it can affect the marrow, which, unlike the regular part of the bone, doesn't regenerate. So L4, skip T12, and then we're going to deal with either C4, which sounds like bomb, C5 and C7 or something like that. And I realized as I was like, C4, I was like, T12, it made me think of like a sci-fi action movie kind of thing going on in my body. And I was like, okay, as long as we're able to avoid the landmines of C4 and the terminating effect of the T tumors in some way, shape, or form, I'm good enough to be able to process everything that's happening. So God is good and faithful, and your prayers have not fallen on deaf ears. So thank you for keeping those coming, because I did get SSI, Social Security Income Approval, as well as SSDI, which is Social Security Disability Income. I got approval recently. Thank you so much for not forgetting to pray for me and for financially supporting me this past year and being such an immense source of support. I actually recorded a video update a week ago, and I recorded like 7 times, and it just wasn't working out emotionally, mentally, and then lastly, technologically. The recording was so low, no one could hear it, and it was a 15-minute long video. So that's not happening today. My radiation treatment will be on Tuesday for the next 10 days after that. 5 days consecutively, break, I guess, on the weekend, and then 5 more consecutive days. the chemo is not an option for me right now, unless it's targeted therapy, which is chemotherapy that specifically attacks the bad cells. I'm in the process of looking into clinical trials, and I found out about clinical trials after seeking information about genomic sequencing, which was something that is important for targeted therapy options and immunotherapy options that my primary oncologist did not want to discuss with me, and I'm imagining that he didn't want to discuss it with me because he pretty much resigned me to die of stage 4 cancer and is more concerned about my pain relief than options that might be available. And he's also really busy, stretched, working on this island and other islands as well, and apparently he has a reputation for not wanting to give bad news. Yes, I guess giving bad news is a little devastating, but when you're an oncology doctor, that's kind of part of the job description. But anyway, I'm not dead. I'm here. Some days I'm struggling, but I do have a lot of emotional support, and I've been reaching out to a lot of my friends to spend time here and there with different people. I just came back from a lunch date with a friend. She was so wonderful as to spend time with me at the park and treat me to lunch. And another friend and I will be having dinner in a couple hours. The goal is to not be by myself for too long, but to be active until I can't be so, and God willing, I won't get to that point. I am preparing to die in some ways because that is the right thing to consider, considering that everybody's going to die for the most part, and we should all be preparing for what could happen in life while making a greater effort to live. So it's a little challenging preparing to die while dying to live. And some days it's not so much that, I'm afraid of death as much as it is afraid of the falling apart aspect of death. I've been laughing about it. I've been crying about it sometimes too. But I think the most important thing is that I'm acknowledging multiple possibilities. And I'm not dealing with it alone. Even when I feel alone, I recognize that I'm not, because God has shown me an extension of His grace, His love, His mercy through so many people, and I'm not able to find everything that I want in one individual, and to do so would be a little bit like, putting one person on a pedestal and idolizing that individual, not recognizing that they have their own needs, and people need other people, not one other person necessarily, to help them in different areas of their life. And I definitely know that as long as I'm reaching out to people and people are reaching out to me, it doesn't have to be maybe under ideal circumstances at all times, but it does help me to get through my day. I'm exercising as much as I'm able to do, and for the most part I can still get around comfortably enough to take care of myself, and I've reached out to a special social worker that comes with the insurance that I have. I may be coming to a hospital in a different state for a clinical trial on a drug that is not chemotherapy unless it's targeted therapy, and I'm just waiting for insurance to approve that. So just pray that the insurance goes through, that they will take care of all the expenses, because clinical trials do not all pay you, they're not all free, and the drug itself is most likely free. The labs, the doctor's fees, the transportation, all that stuff, that has to be covered by you or your insurance. And my insurance denied me for just a consultation last year, and I found out through a new caseworker that that consult that I sought was approved. So it's like knowing the right person to speak to, and my body's not always cooperative in the way that I would like, but my mind is. And I thank God for my voice. I thank God for my right mind. I thank God that I know how to do some research, and the right people just keep giving me buzzwords and, you know, directing me in ways where I'm able to take those things that I've learned and run with it. So I haven't resigned myself to die, though I'm preparing for it. I will fight to live, but I'm not going to, you know, be extreme about it, because quality is more important than quantity. And, you know, there's that quote I really like, you know, it's not the years in the life, it's the life in the years, right? And so God may very well heal me, and I hope he does. Some days, most days. Other days I'm like, Putin's trying to take over the world. I don't know if I want to be here for this. But I'm here now, so I'm doing my part. And there's so much to talk about. But like I said, that's for another video, because it's overwhelming. A lot of days I'm on the phone for like hours, or running here, running there, making sure people are doing their jobs for my care, because my team requires me to be the glue, right? It's like, hey, did you reach out to this person? Did this person get back to you? Because I realize that my state of emergency is not their priority, because there's so many people who have situations going on. And but I'm grateful. My church family has been awesome, and I've had amazing practitioners, even though some have been a little bit questionable. The majority have been awesome, and when the right hand doesn't seem to know what the left hand is doing, someone manages to step up when they realize that there's miscommunication or something slipped through the cracks, and they intercede for me, so that's kind of awesome. So my NP is awesome. My therapists, physical and psychological, have been incredible. And I just, you know, being a part of a church community that I don't even physically go to because of COVID and my immune system issues, but being a part of the community just via Zoom has been great. And then individuals do spend time with me. So I'm a very social person, and though the mask mandates have been or will be lifted here to some extent, if not entirely, I won't be out in a bunch of crowds, but I will be taking care of what I can in smaller group settings outside. So I guess that's it for right now, until I have some more news about clinical trials and the outcome of the radiation. And again, the areas being radiated are my neck, my lower spine, part of my leg, which is near the pelvic area but not quite, and the areas that are being radiated are being done because they are causing issues and pain and limited range of motion, but also I don't want to break any of those bones due to the tumor. And while I'm waiting or awaiting systemic treatment through targeted therapy or some other form, I need to make sure that my bones are okay. So right now nothing's broken or cracked, yay! Though there are holes in my pelvic region, that hip area, there are several tumors there. Nothing's out of control. So day by day, and that's all I really need, and that's all any of us really have. So to God be the glory. Thank you so much for your prayers and your encouragement, and I look forward to leaving you another update with some awesome news and highlights and just information about my status. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. I could not have done this without you. Aloha and mahalo.